Eric Mitchell tightened the knot on his faded tie, staring at the mirror with eyes full of exhaustion and disbelief. The reflection that looked back wasn't just a man, it was a father fighting to stay afloat. The single father of a 7-year-old daughter, he worked 2 part-time jobs, one at a local hardware store and the other delivering food late at night. Each day felt like a race against time, money, and hope. Tonight, though, was different. Not by choice, but by pressure. "Come on, Dad," his daughter Emma had pleaded, her big brown eyes shimmering with excitement. "You never do anything fun for yourself. Ms. Carla from daycare said she set you up on something called a blind date. Isn't that like a surprise party?" Eric had laughed, tired but entertained. "Something like that, honey." Emma had clapped her hands, her joy infectious. "Then you have to go. What if she's nice?" Eric sighed. He wasn't ready. His heart was too busy nursing wounds. His wife had walked out 3 years ago, leaving behind nothing but a note and shared custody he now carried alone. Love wasn't just distant. It felt impossible. Still, he didn't want to disappoint Emma. So here he was, tying his old tie in front of a cracked mirror, heading out on a date he never asked for. The restaurant was upscale. Too upscale. Eric walked in awkwardly, feeling the weight of his scuffed shoes and discount suit. He looked around nervously until the host led him to a table near the corner. The woman waiting there looked effortlessly graceful, dark blue dress, poised posture, confident eyes that carried secrets of their own. She stood and smiled. "Hi, I'm Rachel." Eric shook her hand gently. "Eric. It's nice to meet you." Rachel Cole was the youngest CEO of a major publishing house in the city. Her life was defined by business meetings, boardrooms, and expectations. What no one knew was how lonely the top felt. Tired of superficial suitors and strategic relationships, she'd agreed to a blind date her friend insisted on. "You need someone real," her friend had said. "Let fate surprise you." Looking at Eric, she wasn't sure what she expected, but something about the weariness in his eyes caught her off guard. It was familiar. They talked over dinner. Slowly. Awkwardly at first, then with growing ease. She asked about his work, and he admitted with a chuckle, "Well, I'm a part-time expert in aisle 5 of Mitchell's Hardware, and a night shift food delivery guy." Rachel smiled, surprised by his honesty. "That's real. You must be tired." "You have no idea," he replied, smiling with tired eyes. She talked about her job but kept it vague. She didn't want the label, CEO, to change the tone of the night. Instead, they talked about books, dreams, and, mostly, Emma. Eric's eyes lit up whenever he spoke about his daughter. "She's my world. Some days, I feel like I'm failing, but she still thinks I'm her hero." Rachel listened intently, the way he described fatherhood, sacrifice, and love stirred something inside her she hadn't felt in years. The night ended with a warm hug. "No pressure," Rachel said softly. "But I'd love to see you again." Eric smiled. "That would be nice." Weeks passed. They met again. And again. Eric found himself looking forward to their talks. For the first time in years, someone saw him, not the struggle, not the wear and tear of daily life, but him. Rachel, too, found solace in their connection. She hadn't told him yet who she really was. Part of her feared it might change everything. But the truth weighed on her more with each passing day. One afternoon, she surprised him at the park where he often took Emma. She brought books and snacks. Emma took to her instantly. "You're really pretty," Emma said boldly. Rachel laughed. "Thank you. You're pretty smart. Are you my dad's girlfriend?" Rachel blushed, but Eric jumped in. "Hey, troublemaker. Let's not scare her away." But Rachel's heart fluttered. They spent the day laughing, playing, sharing. And that night, while walking Rachel to her car, Eric looked down. "I feel like I should tell you something." Rachel tilted her head. "You first." He sighed. "I don't have much to offer. No big job, no savings. Just a tiny apartment and my daughter's bedtime stories. I like you, Rachel. A lot. But if you're looking for, well, something more, I understand." She paused, heart pounding. "I'm the CEO of Cole and Ivy Publishing," she said finally. Eric blinked. "You're, what?" "I didn't want to hide it. I just wanted to be, me, not the title." Eric was stunned. "Why would you want to spend time with someone like me?" Her voice was quiet but firm. "Because you're real. You don't care about status. You love fiercely, selflessly. And that's rare." Their relationship deepened after that night. But things took a turn. Eric lost his hardware job after the store closed. Then his old car finally gave up. Bills piled up. He tried to hide it, but Rachel noticed. One day, she showed up at his door with groceries, knowing he wouldn't ask. "I don't need your money," Eric said, gently but firmly. "I know," she said. "I'm not here to save you. I'm here to stand beside you." That night, he wept in silence, overwhelmed, not by pride, but by her compassion. One morning, Emma came home from school unusually quiet. "What's wrong, sweetie?" Eric asked. "The kids laughed at me. They said we're poor. That you're not like their dads." Eric's heart shattered. But before he could reply, Rachel knelt beside Emma. "Let me tell you something," she said. "Your dad is the bravest person I've ever met. He works harder than anyone I know. He gives everything he has to make sure you're safe and loved. That makes him richer than most people." Emma smiled. "I think so too." Months passed. Rachel encouraged Eric to write again. Something he hadn't done in years. She discovered he used to write short stories before life got too heavy. "I want to publish one of your pieces," she said one day. He laughed. "You're kidding." "I'm not. Your words deserve to be heard." And she did. Under a pseudonym, Eric's first short story was published in one of Rachel's magazines. It was about a father and daughter who survived the storm of life with love as their anchor. It went viral. Readers from across the country sent messages of how it moved them to tears. Soon, Eric was invited to speak at community events, share his story, and inspire other single parents. He started earning from his writing. Bit by bit, life began to shift. One spring afternoon, as cherry blossoms danced in the air, Rachel took Eric and Emma to a quiet garden cafe. "I have a question," she said. Eric blinked. "Yeah." She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. Inside was a key. "What's this?" "A house. Not a mansion. Just a little place. For you and Emma." I can't accept this," he stammered. Rachel reached for his hand. "It's not a gift. It's a beginning. For us. For family." Tears filled Eric's eyes. "But why me?" "Because," she whispered, "you reminded me what love really is." That evening, they sat on the steps of their new home. Emma ran around the front yard, giggling. Eric turned to Rachel. "You saved me." She smiled. "No, Eric. You saved me. From a life that looked perfect, but felt empty." They kissed beneath a sky painted with fading sunlight and blooming stars. Epilogue. 2 years later, Eric became a best-selling author. His stories, inspired by real life and fatherhood, touched millions. He started a foundation for struggling single parents, offering resources, writing workshops, and emergency aid. Rachel continued her CEO journey but made time for family, love, and legacy. Emma grew with laughter, love, and bedtime stories that always ended with, and no matter what, love always finds its way.